Padaya Krishna Putale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Shri Nidai Gauranga Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we have been discussing from chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Today we'll continue our discussions, and before we continue with the point we left last session, let's have a quick recap on what we have understood so far. The 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Knowledge of the Absolute. So in the middle section of Bhagavad Gita, from chapter 7 to chapter 12, which is known as the Bhakti Yoga section, Lord Krishna is going to reveal very confidential knowledge about himself. Right? The first section of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 to chapter 6, known as Karma Yoga, ended with the last verse in the 6th chapter, wherein Krishna is telling the topmost yogi is that person who always meditates on Krishna within his heart with great love and devotion. Right? So this being the conclusion in the first portion or the first section of Bhagavad Gita, the middle portion begins with when you have to love Krishna, offer your devotion to Krishna, you should know Krishna. Right? So this chapter itself is titled Knowledge of Krishna, Knowledge of the Absolute. So in this chapter, Krishna begins by telling us that unless you become attached to him, Maya Sakta Mana Partha, he is addressing Partha, Arjuna, that unless you develop your asakti or attachment to me through a proper yogic process of yoga, then you will not actually develop your devotion to me. And by understanding me, or rather properly following the process of yoga, you will come to know about me without any doubt, which means you will completely know about me. Asamshayam samagram ma. So, and I'm going to tell you about this particular process of yoga. That is what Krishna says. And when you come to know this about this particular yoga system, which I'm going to tell, it is Bhakti Yoga, this will make you understand everything about this phenomenal world, material world, and everything about the spiritual world also. Right? This is what Krishna reveals. Which means this middle portion of Bhagavad Gita, just like among all the Vedic literatures, Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the essence. Right? Gita Upanishad is called the essence of all Vedic literatures. And in that Bhagavad Gita, the middle 6th chapter is the essence of the essence. Okay. And further, the chapter called 9th chapter, which we're going to study later, the most confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya. That is essence of the essence of the essence. Okay. Then there is one verse in that chapter, last verse of 9th chapter. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhya chimam namaskuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances to me. This verse is considered to be the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. Okay. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is. Very, very confidential. So this is what is revealed in the middle section. So it's called very important section of Bhagavad Gita. Very nice understanding is given by one Acharya by name Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says, just like you keep some very valuable diamond or a jewel in a jewel box, the top portion of the box is considered to be the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Our portion, what is on top. And the bottom portion of that jewel box is considered to be the first 6 chapters. And inside this 2 covers, there is a jewel called the middle 6 chapters. Jewel of Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna has, in that way, Prabhupada also says, one more example he gives in Bhagavad Gita, in one of the purports. It's like the book. Any book has an outer cover and the back cover. In the middle, there is a content, right? Book content. So the first 6 chapters is the one of the covers, and the last 6 chapters is other outer cover. In the middle, there is the actual content. That is what this whole Bhagavad Gita is. Middle 6 chapters. So that way, these middle 6 chapters is a very important section of Bhagavad Gita. And as we proceed, we'll see Krishna is going to reveal in the initial, now 7th and 8th chapter, he will tell about his, just like when you meet somebody, first he will say, oh, I am from this place, Uttar Pradesh. I belong to, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, and I am having this much property. That's what Krishna is going to tell in the 7th and 8th chapters. And in 9th chapter, Krishna is going to say, what is my, personal activities? In that my place, how I am living, and what are the various dealings I am having with my different devotees. That's what Krishna reveals in 9th chapter. So like this, very nicely, the whole subject matter is being revealed to us step by step by Lord Krishna. So Krishna is telling, beginning of the 7th chapter, telling, unless you develop attachment to me by following a yoga process, proper yoga process, through the system as given by me or my pure devotees, and hear about this from them, you will not develop attachment. Krishna also says, developing attachment to him is not an easy thing, because there are many, many great personalities or spiritualists following different disciplines. They may endeavor for perfection, but knowing him is very difficult. Manushyanam Savasreshu. So like this, Krishna says, it's not easy to understand Krishna. Only way to understand him is devotion to him. So having said this much, Krishna says, starts telling about his opulences. Right? So we are actually discussing about the signs of God. Signs of God. Signs of God begins with analysis of what is the position of God and his diverse energies. That's what signs of God means. Right. So basically, Krishna is going to get into details of his diverse energies. Just like I told you, a big man has so much of his energies working as his property, his establishments. That is energy. Right? Likewise, Krishna says, this is my opulence. Prabhupada also explains how Krishna is full in all opulences. Is explained in the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, and how he manifests such opulences is described here. So he begins explaining that the basic constituents of this material world which we are living in is made up of 8 elements. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha. Ahankara miti yamme bhinna prakriti ashtaka. 8 elements are earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. The different permutation combination of these 8 elements constitute this material world. And this is called inferior energy or material energy of Krishna, or separated energy of Krishna. There is one more energy of Krishna, we living entities, which is known as superior energy. Para Prakriti. The material energy is called Apara Prakriti. We, living entities, are called Para Prakriti. Why? Because matter has no power to act or move. It has to be acted by the living entity. Living entity only can manipulate. And both of us are energies. Material energy and we, living entities, are also, both are energies only of Krishna. And both of us are controlled by Krishna. This is the wonderful revelation Krishna is making in this portion of the Bhagavad Gita. And further, Krishna explains, actually, what you are seeing in the material world is only a combination of this matter and spirit. It's like our existence, our body is actually matter, whereas we within the body is spirit soul. So it is a combination of matter and spirit, and all this combination and dissolution is all made possible by the different arrangements Krishna has made in this material world. Krishna says, like this entire material world, what you're seeing is all being managed, controlled, and resting on me. Use a wonderful example. Just like I'm wearing Kantimala. Behind this Kantimala, the whole beads of this Kantimala is held by a thread, right? But thread is not seen, is unseen. So Krishna says, everything in the material world is resting on me, just like the pearls are strung on a thread. I am the background behind all these various things happening. Not that this world has no background, no existence. It is simply, going on without any proper arrangement. No. The modern day philosophers or the modern day thinkers or even the scientists go on to say, there is no controller. There is no creator. Right? This is what Krishna says in the 16th chapter later on, how there are the demoniac mentality is such that they want to deny the existence of Krishna. Asatyam apratishtamte jagadahu ranishwaram. This world is unreal. Asatyam. It has no foundation, apratishtamte. And it has no controller. Everything is going on automatically. Right? Like this, they propose some theories to deny the existence of God, to say that we are all controlling everything. This is demoniac mentality. Demons don't accept, asuras don't accept God. Right? So, whereas very clearly we can see with little common sense, as Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita, so many things around us is all being maintained, being controlled, and being managed by Krishna, Supreme Personality. So now, beginning with verse 8, which we're going to discuss today, Krishna is going to explain how we can recognize him around us. The common question people have is, can you show me God? Correct? But God is telling, I am right in front of you. You have proper eyes to see me. That's the point, right? And how to see God and how He's everywhere, all pervading, is what Krishna is going to explain in the verses beginning from 8 to 11. Very interesting. If you start seeing Krishna like this is called the Shastra Chakshusha. Shastra Chakshu means seeing, your eyes is seeing through the knowledge of Krishna's words. I'll give a simple example. In the sky, if you see, sun is looking like a big ball of fire somewhere in the distance. Without a proper understanding of what is sun and how big it is, you may always see sun as one ball of fire. Maybe it is 10 times an orange shape, right? But no, it's not simply orange shape. It is many, many times, right? Thousand times bigger than this earth. and it is radiating continuously a lot of energy. Right? Brahma says about sun that Yachakshureh Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Ashesha Teja. All the planets are, he's the king of all planets, sun planet, sun god. And Ashesha Teja, immense heat and light is emanating from sun from the time of beginning of creation. So like this, when you have proper understanding, when you're seeing things with a knowledge, then what happens? You see sun as, oh, it's not simply one ball of fire at a distance. It is very big body. Right? Like this is called seeing with knowledge. So Krishna wants us to develop our vision to see from the eyes of Bhagavad Gita. Now this particular aspect Krishna explained in 5th chapter also. He gave the understanding of Samadarshana. Right now we have Jada Darshana. Jada Darshana means what? Jada means, body. I am man, he is woman, oh, beautiful man, beautiful woman, black man, black, like this, white man, like this. We are all distinguishing with our only limited understanding. Krishna says, if you are really learned, your darshana, your vision will be sama darshana. You will not see body, you will see spirit soul within the body. And you will see body as only actually a reaction of the various karmic influences, different karmas you have done in the previous life. Because of that, you got one body. Somebody in the body of a human, somebody in the body of an animal, cow, elephant, or a beautiful person, ugly person. All this is because of the previous action. Accordingly, he's got a particular type of body. So, like this, very clearly, Krishna gives us the understanding that we should develop a proper vision with regard to how to see this world. So, in that context, Krishna is giving us understanding of how to see Krishna everywhere. Krishna is everywhere as his energies. His energy is everywhere. Opulence is everywhere. Just like, when you see a big man with a lot of establishments across, say, we'll take example of Ambani, right? When you see Geophone, oh, it's Ambani's. You remember immediately, right? Ambani. Also, she's having this telephone and he's having some petrol pump. Nowadays, Geo petrol pumps are coming. Even in Vrindavan side, Mathura side, you're seeing. Anything about Geo, like, Geo Cinema, whatever they are doing, that brand reminds us of that owner. Right? So like that, different manifestations in the material world, what is all going on, is all Krishna's energies only. Krishna gives some examples, obvious examples, which we can relate with. Bhagavad Gita is that simple. Krishna is not giving you complicated examples. What you can see, what you have seen, what you have experienced, only Krishna gives as examples. So verse number 8. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhashmi sashi suryo pranava sarva vedeshu shabdakhe purusham rishu. Excuse me. So, here Krishna gives 5 examples. Verse number 8. He says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. I am the taste of water. So we're discussing basically of how Krishna is all-pervading by his multi-energies. He has many energies, material, spiritual energies, how he is all-pervading and how we can understand him, how we can perceive him, know him is what Krishna is explaining in this verses 8 to 11. Okay. So first example he gives is, I am the taste in water. Whenever you drink water, there is some specific taste of that. Krishna says, I am that taste. Prabhupada goes on to say, not only water, anything, if you drink wine or you drink juice, everything has some specific taste, no? So whenever you drink anything, you understand that taste is Krishna. Where from the taste is coming? Right? So the taste is the energy of Krishna. This is how we can remember Krishna. So whenever you drink water, how many times you drink water? Summertime. Right? You should understand, oh, I am this Krishna's energy. In that way, if you start drinking water, you will become Krishna conscious. Just see how easy it is. Water is something you day in and day out. Morning you get up, you drink water. Day, how many times you drink water? The taste in the water is Krishna essence. Second example. Prabhashmi Sachisuryayo. He says, when you see the sun, the light from the sun, the radiance from the sun, Krishna says, I am that radiance. That energy is coming from me. And in the night, when you see the moon, the light from the moon, I am that, Krishna says. I am the taste of water, I am the light of the sun and the moon, which means sun and the moon are not independent entities existing in the sky. Their illumination, their shining power is actually derived from Krishna. Krishna's body is emanating unlimited light called Brahma Jyoti. Actually, sun planet is reflecting that light. Now, just like when you have a mirror in your room, morning sunshine, if it reflects on that mirror, your whole room becomes illuminated, right? Likewise, the light, the effulgence coming out of Krishna's body, called Brahma Jyoti, is being reflected by sun and the moon. So, original source of this light is Krishna. So, Krishna says, I am the light of the sun and the moon. So, example 1, I am the taste of water. Example 2, I am the light of the sun and the moon. Very simple. When you see sun and the moon, you should remember, oh, this light is from the sun is Krishna. This light from the moon is Krishna. Very simple. You become Krishna conscious. You can see Krishna, how Krishna is present. Third, Krishna says, Pranavaha Sarva Vedeshu. I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. Right? Every Vedic mantra is beginning with Omkara. What is this Omkara? Omkara, Prabhupada says, is the sound representation of Krishna. Om basically means, in one more place, Prabhupada explains, oh my God. Okay, because there are class of impersonalists who, spiritualists called impersonalists, who don't want to recognize God's personality. So for them, Krishna has given them one sound form, sound vibration called Om. Om is the sound representation of Krishna. So Prabhuji, tomorrow onwards, can we chant Om, Om, Om? Prabhupada says, in Hare Krishna already Om is there. So don't worry. Right? Sometimes people think, Om is better now. No. Krishna says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhupada says, Hare Krishna, understand. So, Omkara, Krishna says, Pranava, I am that. Let's see. So wonderful, say confirmation Krishna is giving. Om is not separate. Om is the sound representation of Krishna. Right? That is third example. Fourth example, Shabdakhe. Now I am talking. Sound is emanating. So, this sound is there. Why? Because there is an element called ether or space. When there is space, sound can be accommodated. So, whenever there is sound, it means we are in a space. And what Krishna say in verse number 4? Bhumir apa anala vayu kham. Kham means space, ether. Right? So Krishna says very clearly that ether is one of the energies of him. And from ether, the transformation of ether is sound. Right? Before the invention of television, at least many of you would have known, there was only radio. Right? All India radio or BBC. Right? Sound was transmitted all over. And used to very anxiously wait for that particular time, particular program. So, a sound is transmitted through space. So, whenever there is some sound, right? It's like during festivals, sometimes the crackers burst outside your house. Dham, dhoom. This sound, where from it is coming? If there is no ether space, sound will not come. So whenever some sound comes, you know, Krishna's energy, right? This is the point. Otherwise, if there is vacuum, you cannot hear me, I cannot hear you. So which only means Krishna has facilitated this communication to us. The sound, any sound, is, Krishna says, I am the sound in the ether. And fifth example Krishna gives is, I am ability in man. Paurusham Rishu. All of us as humans, individuals, have some abilities. Somebody can cook nicely, somebody can sing nicely, somebody can do some artwork nicely, right? Somebody has their own, abilities, skills. Krishna says that I am that ability in man, whatever ability it is. Paurusha, right? Some strength, like this. Whatever ability in man is, Krishna says, I am that. So which means any ability you boast yourself or you are very proud of yourself, you understand, oh, Krishna given ability it is. Anytime this ability can be withdrawn, taken away, just like ability to lift the hand. This paralysis, what happens? I want to lift the hand, but Krishna has withdrawn the ability. The power of speech is ability. Right? Krishna, if he withdraws, no, nothing, you cannot talk. Like this, any abilities which Krishna has given us as a blessing can be taken away. Should be thankful to Krishna, grateful to him every day. You're given all his abilities, let me use them for your service. Right? So that way Prabhupada explains how the jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness is everywhere. Right? And one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Just see, say, water you're drinking, sun, moon you're seeing, Omkara, sound you may hear. Sound, you constantly hear. You put the television on, sound is coming continuously. Right? But sound is here to Krishna, because of Krishna, sound is happening. And ability, any ability you have, is Krishna's ability. Like this, you can constantly become Krishna conscious. Prabhupada says it's a blessed life. Those who don't know Krishna like this are an illusion. So Krishna's knowledge is actually liberation. And ignorance of understanding of this understanding is bondage. No understanding, simply they're in illusion. They are in complete bondage. Next, verse number 9. Krishna gives 4 more examples. So we had 5 examples and 4 more are being given now. Punya gandha prithivyam cha tejas chasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapas chasmi tapasvishu. The first example, the 6th example is punya. Punya means the original aspect of any element. Prabhupada says, any element you take, for example, cardamom, elachi, it has some smell, particular specific smell, some fragrance, right? Immediately it is put in some food item, preparation, that flavor you can experience. It likewise, every spice has a specific fragrance, specific taste, specific smell, right? Which, I think most of you who are all expert in cooking will know this. So how come this spice, for example, it is one aspect of spice. If you say flowers, every flower has a different fragrance. Say rose flower, it has a specific fragrance. And say champa flower, it has a different fragrance. What about fruits? Now it is mango season. Mango itself, when it is stored in a particular place, it gives some sort of a one wonderful fragrance, smell, oh, mango is there. Or most, I think at least most of you are familiar with the jackfruit. Even from distance, you can make, oh, jackfruit is being, if somebody in neighbor's house, they are cutting jackfruit in your house, you'll get smell. That's strong it is, right? So you can make, oh, they're eating jackfruit, right? So like this, specific items or specific elements or specific, say, flower, fruit, or elements have specific original flavors, right? So this original flavor, Krishna says, is I am. So where from these original flavors came in those entities, a cardamom or a cinnamon or whatever spice you say. Very nice example Prabhupada gives. Say in a garden, you have a neem tree and a mango tree. Same garden, same soil. The farmer is giving same manure, same water, everything. Same farmer, same gardener. But when the seed of the mango grows into a mango tree and gives mango fruit, and the neem fruit, the neem seed grows into a neem tree and neem leaves and the neem fruits, nimba fruit and mango fruit, are they same? One is very sweet, king of fruits. One is super bitter, right? Same, everything same. How it got like this? Because Krishna has created this punya gandha in the prithvi. When you put a mango seed, it grows into a mango plant and mango tree and mango fruit, which is having a different type of a taste, flavor, and fragrance. Neem tree, different. And even if you see the medicinal plants, many times, they will be growing in the same garden. But each plant has a specific medicinal properties. How it is so? This is what we have to recognize Krishna's smartness, Krishna's intelligence. Which means all of them are different species of life. And each of them are endowed with specific type of a quality. This you have to recognize, oh, Krishna. And all of these are very common things which we keep using. Where from this flavor came in this particular spice or a particular fruit, this fragrance, this orange juice having this citric type of a taste. Where from it has come? Krishna is giving. Right? Like this. So Punyo Gandha Prithivyam, which means Lord has made or put all the necessary, you can say the DNA and whatever it is, genetics in that particular seed, mango seed, to grow that way. Just see how wonderfully Krishna has made. Prabhupada gives one more example. Say, in your case, you may be working in a factory, manufacturing a watch or a mobile, but each product has to be analyzed and quality tested. And only then it will be certified, yes, it is okay for going out of the factory for sale. And every product has to be tested. Whereas Krishna way of production or way of manufacture is only one seed, mango seed. So after that, production happens continuously. Year after year after year, so perfect. Every mango fruit has same taste. Quality testing done already, right? See how it is so wonderful. This is how we should see how Krishna is so wonderfully acting. Okay, Punyo Gandha Prithivyam Cha Tejas Chasmi Bhavaso. Seventh example Krishna gives is Vibhavasu. Vibhavasu means fire. The heat in the fire. Right? Morning, you get up means you have to make tea, coffee. You have to put the gas on. Where from this heat is coming? The heat in the fire coming from? Krishna says, I am that heat. Heat in the fire is Krishna. We cannot run our factories, we cannot cook, we cannot do anything without heat. So that fire, Krishna says, the heat in that fire is, Krishna says, I am. Right? Fire is burning, no heat means some problem. Right? So like this, Prabhupada gives example, Ayurvedic medicine, sometimes the heat in the fire, heat in that stomach, fire in the stomach is reduced, because of which you'll have indigestion problems, health problems. Later on, Krishna explains 15th chapter again that there is a particular fire in the stomach. That particular fire is having some problem. Then Krishna says that will lead to a lot of problems. He says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Vaishvanaro. There's one fire called Vaishvanara fire in the belly, stomach. So that is malfunctioning. Ayurvedic type of a treatment says, then a lot of health problems will be there. Indigestion, bowel movements, all these things. So like this, the fire, heat in that fire, Krishna says, I am that. Eighth example is Krishna gives is Jivanam Sarva Bhutanam. All of us are living now, life going on. We have duration of life. Right? So the duration of life, Jivana, of all living entities, and may live for few days. Then there are some animals who live for couple of years. Right? And cows may live for 14, 15, 20 years. We as humans may live for 70, 80 years. So who has decided this, how much lifespan every living entity should have? Krishna says, I am that lifespan. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu. Right? I am the life of all that lives. Right? Anybody going through their lifespan, you should see, oh, Krishna has made them live. As soon as that life, air is gone from that body, Krishna has taken away that life air. Simple. So every moment you can remember Krishna. That's what Prabhupada wants to tell us. Right? So, and the ninth example Krishna gives is tapaschasmi tapasvishi. Right? The tapasya of the tapasvis, ascetics or the sages do tapasya. For what? Again, attaining the Supreme. The yogis are meditating for, as we read in the 6th chapter, they're all trying to meditate on the Paramatma. Great tapasya they go do. We went into details, right? They go into the forest, place where there is no, there's this very lonely place, sacred place, a particular way they sit and do a lot of austerities. And Gyanis also take up a lot of austerities. So any austerity you do, for us austerity is chanting Hare Krishna every day. Right? So if you do this austerity, for what you want to do austerity? As Lord Rishabhdev in Bhagavad says, austerity should be meant to tapo divyam, for divyatva, for transcendence. And the transcendence is, supreme transcendence is Krishna. So, austerity, Krishna says, the austerity of the tapasvis or the ascetics is I am. So like this, Prabhupada goes on to say that the Krishna consciousness understanding is such that we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, right? Active principle, just like any ingredient has an active principle. Every chemical has a specific property. It's called active principle. Right? The active principle of salt is to taste salty. Chili, active principle is to taste hot. Right? Like this active principle in everything, in the taste, it may be taste, or it may be fragrance, it may be specific chemical composition or a chemical property of all chemicals and all material elements is due to Krishna. Krishna has created this world that way, with specific ingredients having specific qualities. So, basically, Prabhupada again says, Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere of life. Just that we need to have a Shastra Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu, means the eyes of knowledge to see things through Bhagavad Gita. So we understood 9 examples now. Krishna explained, right? I am the taste in water, I am the light of the sun and the moon, I am the Omkara, I am the sound in the ether, I am the ability in man, I am the original fragrance of the earth, I am the heat of the fire, I am the life of all that lives, the lifespan, and I am the penance of all ascetics. Now, verse number 10, Krishna explains 3 more examples. So, 9 plus 3 is 12. So, 10th example is, Bijam mam sarva bhutana vidhi partha sanatanam. So, Krishna says, I am the original seed of all existences. So, this is again indirectly telling that Krishna is the source of all of us. Anything begins with a seed, right? Any entity begins, just like we give the example of mango tree. How it has begun? With a seed. So that in the seed, the soul entering into the seed is facilitated by Krishna. Karmana daiva netrena jantu dehopapattaye. It is spoken by Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti in Bhagavatam. He says, how by the action of karma and with the arrangement of Lord in this material world, daiva netrena, karmana daiva netrena, jantur deha upapatti, the living entity will get a suitable body. So it is mentioned, Purusha retaha, the semen of a man is injected into the womb of a woman. Striyo pravishta udaraha. Right? And in the semen, the spore, the spirit soul, specific spirit soul is sheltered. And this arrangement Krishna only is doing. So which means the bija for the birth of a child, human child, is given by the man. And that bija is impregnated into the womb of a woman. Right? So unless that bija is having soul in that, Krishna's arrangement, that particular soul enters that bija, there is no birth of a child. So this is the system Krishna has made in this particular world. And the scriptures say there are different processes. Say in the humans and some other animals, it is not the birth happens by in the form of embryo, right? And there are entities wherein like trees and plants, it is bija, the form of seeds, right? And there are some entities like fish, tortoise, they all lay eggs, birds. It's called Andaja. Andaja, Udvija, Svetaja, Jarayuja. 4 types of birth. It's explained in Bhagavatam. Right? In the form of embryo, or by the seed, or by eggs, or by sweat, Svedaja. Bed bugs are born by the sweat from our body. So like this, not that they are born simply like that, the arrangement Lord has made. A particular living entity enters in the particular situation to take birth that way. So Krishna says later on in the 14th chapter also, Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam aham bija pradapita. I am that bija pradapita. I am the father of, I am the seed giving father for all the living entities, Krishna says. So this is what this 10th example Krishna is giving. Any living entity born in this material world, whatever species of life, the 84 lakh species, all of their origin is from Krishna only. And the whole Bhagavatam, the initial cantos, first, second, third, fourth, explains how different living entities have come into this existence. 84 lakh species, how they came into existence. Right? All of us have gone through these various species of life, previous lifespans. Right? Human form is considered to be the most advanced evolution, evolutionary stage. Right? Otherwise, you have gone through aquatics, then trees and plants, reptiles, like this, birds, animals, 84 lakh species. It's not a small evolution. So So in every species of life, Krishna says, I am that seed-giving father. This is what Krishna is revealing here. Very wonderful aspect. Now, this is the 10th aspect. 11th point, Krishna says, example, Buddhir Buddhimatam Asmi. Professor Einstein, great scientist, right? Or, Abdul Kalam, great scientist. Where from this buddhi came for them? Prabhupada used a wonderful comment. Okay, if that buddhi is all, they have cultivated that buddhi, why don't you preserve the buddhi of great scientists in a proper jar and shift that buddhi to one more person so buddhi continues? Not possible. That buddhi Krishna has given. Later on we'll see, 15th chapter, Krishna explains. Whatever knowledge, whatever remembrance and forgetfulness, Krishna is giving online based on your previous karma. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So, buddhir buddhimatam asmi. So, Krishna is the root of all intelligence. And our whole Krishna consciousness is called Buddhi Yoga, right? Which means our limited buddhi, you have to connect to Krishna's buddhi. Then what happens? We'll get unlimited buddhi. Very simple. You hold high tension wire, current will pass through your body. Don't do that. Not exist. We won't do that. But here we can, hold on to Krishna's buddhi, Bhagavad Gita every day. If you read, that buddhi will be transferred. And all our other buddhi, which is of no use, will go away. Okay. So, buddhir buddhimatam asmi. So, we have to sharpen our buddhi, intelligence, with regard to Krishna consciousness understanding. Any other buddhi is of no use. Nashta buddhi is of no use. Krishna says, 2nd chapter, right? So, it's only entangling us. So, we should have Krishna consciousness intelligence. So, the source of intelligence, any intelligence, is Krishna. This is 11th point. 12th point, Krishna says, Tejas Tejasvinam Aham. Prowess of the powerful men. Right? Strange people are very, built, body built, or whatever strength you have in terms of your bodily, construction. So that prowess, Krishna says, I am. So like this, Krishna is wonderfully telling us, just see around you and you can see him. Just see the various wonderful manifestations around you and you can experience the presence of Krishna. Right? And how to see, Krishna is explaining. And verse number 11, Krishna gives here 2 more examples. Right? So, 5, 4, 3, 2. How much? 14. So, 14 examples Krishna is giving in these 5 verses to explain how he is all-pervading, how he is present everywhere. Just remembering these 14 aspects every day in our day-to-day life will keep you always Krishna conscious. Very, very wonderful formula. Okay. So, verse number 11. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. So, he says, Balam balavatam chaham. I am the strength of the strong. Right? Looks like little repetition of what he has told just now. Tejasvinaham. Right? Balam balavatam chaham. Bala can mean the physical strength, also can mean so many other powers. It's like political power or money power, or your so many other powers which is used in the present day context for different things, right? So, as the strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak. So the politicians should use their power to protect the weak, give them proper, care and protection, not for personal aggression. Which means Krishna is telling you have some strengths, bala, that bala should be used not for your personal satisfaction or personal aggression, as Prabhupada says. It should be devoid of passion and kama raga vivarjitam, devoid of passion and desire. Right? Similar statement Krishna has made in the 4th chapter, if you remember, 4th chapter, 19th verse. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. Okay? So here Krishna says kama raga vivarjita, which means all our endeavors should be devoid of desire for sense gratification. Personal sense gratification. Oh, I am very powerful now. I'm big boss. I can do whatever I want. I can exploit people. That is wrong. Use your power for judiciously for the purpose for what it is meant for. Right? The political power should be used for Kshatriya means what? He is supposed to give protection to the subordinates, both materially and spiritually. That is how this Kshatriya is supposed to use his power. If it is misused, then it is, Krishna says, it is demoniac. And where this strength is used, whatever strength, whatever bala one has used for the spiritual progress, for the material well-being of people, Krishna says, that strength I am. Right? And a very important 14th point Krishna is telling, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. So here, Krishna is bringing the point. There is a provision or the facility of sex life in every species of life. And this provision Krishna has made for a particular arrangement in the material world for procreation. Especially in the human form of life, Krishna says that sex life, which is not against the religious principles, not contrary to religious principles, dharma aviruddha. Dharma viruddha is against. Dharma aviruddha. Viruddha's opposite word is aviruddha. That is not contrary to religious principles, that I am, which means any sex life as per rules, regulations, I am that, Krishna says. So basically, Krishna wants to say that the human life cannot be unregulated. And especially in the human form of life, there are many purificatory processes called samskaras to be performed. Human form of life is meant for spiritual realization. And every step of human form of life is to remind ourselves that we are not meant to simply indulge in gratifying our senses and spoil our life. We're supposed to understand the purpose of life and accordingly utilize every aspect of our human existence to move forward towards spiritual journey. So the scriptures have prescribed some specific purificatory processes for human form of life in every stage of, in different parts, in different phases of life. Just like there's a purificatory process called marriage, vivaha, yajna. Why? Because otherwise, if there is no marriage, just like in animal society, there is no marriage. It is unregulated. Any male, any female, anywhere, anytime they can meet and then over. That's how life is there. That's how that is designed in that way. But when you come to human form of life, you cannot have a unregulated, unrestricted, sort of a combination like this. Today I'm having arrangement with this man, this woman. Tomorrow somebody else. Oh, like this, my life is enjoyable, very nice. That is animal life. Human life is supposed to have regulation, especially man and woman, and they're supposed to have regulation because this, as Krishna explained in 3rd chapter, is kama. The lusty desire is the cause of our bondage. This has to be regulated. Krishna explained in 6th chapter also. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta sapna abodhasya. Right? Yukta ahara, yukta vihara. It means your eating, your recreation, everything should be regulated. That is human life. Unregulated life is animal life. So when it comes to human form of life, with regard to having that propensity to enjoy sex life, there is a regulation. And especially in the married life, you're supposed to follow what is known as Garbhadhana Samskara, which means the aspect of having sex life between husband and woman and the wife is not a secret affair. It is a ritual. Is a one of the, you can say, yajna, wherein there's a proper purificatory rituals are conducted and a specific date and time is there, and accordingly the seed is planted in the by the man in the womb of his wife. That is called Garbhadana Samskara. So like this, Prabhupada says, nowadays in the Kali Yuga, people don't follow this. So when you don't follow the Vedic regulations, then you become Shudra. That's what Arjuna's concern was. The first chapter, if you see, when there is no elders in the family, the family regulations, the rules, regulations, the family religious rules and regulations will be neglected, and because of which there will be unwanted population. Women will be polluted. There will be Varna Sankara. That was a concern Arjuna had. Right? Because the rules, regulations are not followed. Unrestrictedly, people mix, man, woman mix. There is an unwanted progeny, unwanted births of children. That is going to create a lot of headache, a lot of trouble. It will be hellish. Arjuna's concern was that. So Krishna here says very clearly, when you are regulating your procreating ability of procreation in a streamlined manner, with only begetting children only, propagation of children, otherwise no. Right? It is called actually family planning. Right? Prabhupada says, sex life according to religious principles should be for the propagation of children, not otherwise. Right? Not that I give birth to children, after that what? Leave to them. Just like the other, animal kingdom, they just give birth and leave them. No, your responsibility is to give them proper training to make them to take up devotional life. That is your responsibility. And Bhagavata says, if you cannot take up this responsibility of becoming a responsible father, mother, teacher, guardian, don't become father, mother, or teacher or guardian. Vitananasya, jananinanasya, namochet, yasamupeta mrityum, because your responsibility is to give them proper training to deliver them from the cycle of birth and death. You don't give them training, then why are you becoming father, mother? Don't take up the responsibility. Which means becoming a father, mother, teacher, guardian is not an ordinary, responsibility. It's just like any other entities are becoming father, mother. I also become father, mother. No. That is what Krishna is telling us. A very heavy statement. Prabhupada often quotes this particular part of this verse in many, many parts of his teachings, his lectures, his books. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatasya. Okay. So these are the 14 aspects we can say Krishna is pervading, all pervading, is present everywhere. And just remembering these instructions of Krishna, how he is all pervading everywhere, we can become nice devotees. The Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. And it's all pervading. So I'll conclude here because the next section will be a different section. We'll begin in the next session. Okay. So before I conclude, close, any questions, any clarifications, comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this is not with respect to the class, but I have one doubt. I heard in today's Bhagavatam class that false ego is the origin for our conditioning in this material world. So due to false ego, I'm developing material desires and getting entangled. And in Krishna consciousness, what we are trying to do is we are trying to engage our senses in Krishna conscious activities, purify our mind, engage our intelligence in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
So by doing this, our false ego will get purified, Prabhu. Is this reverse process is what we are doing in Krishna consciousness?
Yes. First of all, false ego means falsely identifying yourself with something else which you are not. Right? False identification means wrong identification of your actual existence. Just like the example Prabhupada gives often. You, in the dark, you are holding a rope and thinking that I am holding a snake. False identification, right? And you're becoming great, you're coming in great anxiety. So likewise, we have falsely identified ourselves with this body, whatever specific bodies we had in our previous many lifetimes, and going on like this. So this bodily conception of life has become something sort of a default way of functioning for us. Our whole perception, our conception, everything is, bodily conception, right? So Krishna consciousness, yes, we are trying to reverse it, basically, and make us understand that, yes, I am not the body and spirit soul. Right now, it is theoretically, we are hearing and trying to absorb and assimilate it. It has to be practically applied in our every aspect of our practice. That's what in Krishna consciousness we are being taught, right? But the day one you come in touch with ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement, you are told to chant Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna, you will be going to chanting whole life. So what is the difference that when you came in touch with ISKCON, you are told to chant Hare Krishna, and after 5 years, after 10 years, 15 years, or 30 years, you chant Hare Krishna. There's a difference in the consciousness. There is a gradual evolution of your consciousness. From the bodily conception, gradually your consciousness is getting purified. Right? Basically, this false ego, as Prabhupada says in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is very deep-rooted. It's so deep-rooted that it is not easy to come out of this identification. Body means, we say mind, intelligence, ego, all these things, right? So it is not easy to come out of this egoistic or rather false ego aspect of our existence, right? So it's a process depending on our willingness to engage ourselves in every aspect of Krishna consciousness very seriously, sincerely, and constantly pray to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna to bring us out of this false ego. Right? The false ego, it is like it's very from gross to subtle, and as you go more subtle and subtle, it is very complicated. Right? That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says while explaining the different weeds of Bhakti Lata Bija to Rupa Goswami. He says how that Labha, Puja, Pratishtha, Nishidachara, Kutinati, right? Your people, even though they are practicing Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna, doing all the activities, but heart of heart, they are desiring some profit, some adoration, some perpetual appreciation from people, right? And then diplomacy in dealings. So all these things should be, it's like weeds in your growth of bhakti. It looks like, just like, in a field, along with normal other plants which you are growing, then some other weeds also come. They look like similar to the normal plant, but actually they are taking away all the food, nutrition you are giving to this actual plant. So likewise, all your chanting and hearing and reading and everything is being fed to those weeds, upashakha. Then it will only weaken your bhakti lata. So false ego, yes, definitely, it's a big anartha within our existence. We are trying to address that every day in and day out. Our sincere practice of bhakti and sincerely praying to Prabhupada and Krishna to completely root it out is what we are supposed to be doing. Right? Many times, like We do something, so many years of practice, even then when it comes, an allurement comes in front of us, or some situation comes wherein what is to be decided, what is correct, what is wrong, you again fail. Right? Situations, right? So because the conditioning, false ego means what? I am the body and my necessities are important for me, self-centered. Right? So that takes the prominence. So the examples of great devotees in Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, their wonderful way of performing their devotion in every aspect is all again should inspire us, should motivate us to to conduct ourselves in their footsteps and come out of this false ego. It's a process we have begun. We continuously, sincerely keep endeavoring. What Krishna has to, or Prabhupada has to decide, Krishna has to decide, they will do. But let us go on with our practices sincerely. That's what I can say as of now.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, good.
Prabhuji, I understand that this ego was created by the God to coordinate among mind, intellect, sense organs, and motorized organs. Is it true?
First of all, let us understand what is ego means. Ego means identity, but I am. So we are talking about two types of egos here. I am Krishna's. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am Krishna's devotee is a real ego. Ego is something which you cannot separate. It is a part of your constitution. Right? So, in your original existence as spirit soul, you do have a real ego as a devotee of Krishna. You have spiritual mind, spiritual intelligence, spiritual senses. Whereas in the present situation, because you have developed a desire not to serve Krishna at some point of time, Anadi Badi Bhavarnava Jale. It's, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, when it happened, how it happened, we cannot trace back, but it has happened at one point of time. We have desired independent existence, independent life. So because of which Krishna has created an imitation mind, imitation intelligence, imitation senses, it's material body. And our spiritual mind, spiritual senses, spiritual intelligence is all sleeping. Whereas our spirit soul attention only is active as of now. Spirit soul's consciousness is only right now is coming out. And that consciousness is coming out through this material mind, material intelligence, material senses. They're all conditional and materially materially surrounded with material environment. So this type of is like, when you're in a stage drama, you're given a specific role. You may be in your real life a family man with business something, but in the drama you're given a role of a king. So in your actual life with your family and business, that is your real ego. Just giving an example. Whereas on a stage you become a king, that is called false ego. So our real ego is to be servant of Krishna. And we come and take different roles here. In the human form, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a woman, and different roles we play. And we think that is everything. That is called false ego. And in that limited span of time, whatever roles we play, we think that is everything, and whole life goes in that. To, for in our planning, in our fulfilling of our ambitions, and like this, whole life goes in that. But life after life, we are spending like this. So whenever you create new situations and That's what, whatever you do in this life and previous lives, that will create the next life for you. That is, we are going on, new situations we are creating, and life goes on like this, Nitya Baddha, ever conditioned. And Krishna also accordingly is creating situations for you, material mind, material intelligence, appropriate for that. It's like if your mentality is like that of a tiger in this life, next life you have to give you a tiger body. So the tiger mind, tiger intelligence, tiger senses he's going to give you. And the tiger's body, your identity will be, I am tiger. Right? And you move on like this. The machine is given to you. And you inside the machine, you think, I am tiger. That's all. That's what is happening in our material body. So when you come to human form of life, all this you can understand. Drama going on in our different lifespans. So you practice Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna and following the different procedures, steps which is given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita as directed by Prabhupada. Gradually you will awaken your true identity. That all this is incidental. What is all going on in my life? My real activity is this: engaging in Krishna's service. Right? Kayena manasa buddhya kevalai rinderapi. 5th chapter Krishna says. Right? Very nicely explains in verse number, 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalai rinderapi. Yogina karma kurvanti. Sangam tektvatma shuddhaye. The yogis abandoning attachment act with the body, mind, intelligence, and even with their senses only for the purpose of purification. Yes, see. This is what you are supposed to do. Right? Because we are right now having our identity has become impure. It's become contaminated. Contamination means what? You're thinking you're something else. Acting also in a wrong way. And because of the wrong identification, your actions are also, it is wrong. So that correction is what we are supposed to be doing. For that, what you're supposed to do? Act with the body, mind, intelligence, and even the senses, abandoning all attachment to this other incidental aspects which you think is everything for me, and only for the purpose of purification. If you act like this, then only our real identity, our real ego is awakened. Otherwise, things go on. The Lord has made. So this is what Krishna explains in the next 8th chapter. Will explain how it is so important, so crucial at time of death. If you don't purify your consciousness, purification of your because purification means what? Purification of your consciousness, your mind, intelligence purified. Because right now it is contaminated with so many material conceptions that I am this body and bodily way of functioning around us. Right? That has to be, you have to come out of this misidentification. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratina nirmalam. Narad Muni says, all the false designations which we are carrying with us. I'm a big man, I'm a big owner, I'm Prime Minister, all those temporary designations. Right, Krishna, Narad Muni says, give up all this. Your only identification is what? I am eternal servant of Krishna. This is called purification. So when this comes in our consciousness, then our real ego is awakened. Then our spiritual senses are awakened. Then you can engage in bhakti the way that nobody can stop you. Right now it is like, forcibly we are trying to push ourselves. Right? Once it is awakened, that is spontaneous. That's why bhakti has different stages. Right now we are doing sadhana bhakti or vaidhi bhakti. Regulations, rules, regulations. Every week you have to attend Bhagavad Gita class. Oh, very difficult. Right? So every day chanting Hare Krishna, very difficult. That is called Vaidhi Bhakti. But there's a stage wherein you come to what is known as Raga Bhakti, spontaneous devotion. Wherein, why every day, why only weekly once, every day I'll read Bhagavad Gita. Every day I'll do everything. That is called spontaneous. Then there's one more level, higher level, called Prema Bhakti. wherein the spontaneity has intensified. And that's intensified spontaneity is at higher levels, more intensified. It reaches one more very advanced stage. It's called Mahabhava, when Radharani is serving Krishna. Right? That is the level at which Radharani is serving Krishna. Right? So, and that Radharani is ready to offer this devotion to all of us, provided we are ready to accept it. And otherwise, we will be entangled in the bodily conception, false ego conception, and go on. Okay, yeah. I think I have spoken more than what I'm supposed to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So let's close now. We will meet again next week. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.